Real estate professionals are using generative AI to automate email outreach, but in doing so, they are accidentally manufacturing federal legal violations at scale. Real estate communication is governed by a strict regulatory minefield. The Fair Housing Act dictates what you can legally say about neighborhoods. RESPA tightly restricts how agents can talk about lenders and financing. CAN-SPAM regulates commercial intent. Most real estate agents do not have an encyclopedic knowledge of these compliance rules. Often, these regulations only cross an agent's mind after a violation has already triggered a lawsuit or a fine. Standard large language models fail in this environment. An LLM is designed to please the user, which means it will confidently generate highly polished, professional-sounding text that happens to be illegal. If an agent asks an AI to introduce their mortgage partner, the AI might write, "We work closely with Rocket Mortgage to save you time and money."
In the real estate industry, tying an agent's service to a specific lender to claim savings is a severe RESPA steering violation. Deploying unregulated generative AI in a highly regulated industry doesn't optimize a professional's workload. It multiplies both corporate and individual liability, leaving brokers exposed to regulatory scrutiny. You cannot solve this by simply adding "do not break the law" to a standard CRM system prompt. Broad instructions are too easily ignored or bypassed by the AI, making them an inadequate solution for enterprise compliance. To fix this, the iRES platform utilizes a constitutional communication system. As we see in this model, it is built on a specialized 5-layer architecture that separates user intent from legal governance. Let's trace the data. The input flows through Layer 0, which defines the purpose of helping consumers. Layer 1 dictates the constitutional rules. Layer 2 applies the communication framework, and Layer 3 authors the actual text. Finally, the data reaches Layer 4 at the base of the stack, the validator. This acts as a rigid filter, catching and blocking mechanical slips before allowing the clean output to exit the system. This entire architectural stack runs invisibly on the server side the moment an agent clicks send. The user never sees it, cannot bypass it, and cannot accidentally disable it. By isolating the user from the governance rules, this architecture changes generative AI from a probabilistic text generator into a multi-stage communication pipeline governed by deterministic verification. The engineering of this architecture relies on a strict trust model. The system treats the agent's drafted email in Layer 2 entirely as untrusted data, never as a set of instructions for the AI to follow. This hard separation protects the system from prompt injection. If an agent hides a command in their draft telling the AI to mention interest rates, the system recognizes it as inert text and strips it out. Layer 1, the Constitution, splits into 2 components, the Universal Core Sphere and the Policy Pack Cartridge. The core enforces ethical rules like truthfulness. The Real Estate Pack holds strict industry laws, enforcing RESPA and fair housing. This pack contains specific programmatic prohibitions. It enforces absolute bans on outputting property addresses, home valuations, and local crime statistics, even if the agent included them. It also applies a strict anti-steering rule. If the system detects illegal phrasing like "we work closely with," it automatically rewrites the sentence, clarifying that the consumer is free to choose any provider. Hard-coding the separation between universal ethics and domain-specific law ensures that updating a specific real estate regulation never accidentally compromises the system's foundational AI safety. Beyond static rules, the prompt dynamically adapts to sensitive situations to protect vulnerable consumer groups using contextual overlays. The system tightens its own rules based on the category of the recipient. Consider the probate overlay. When emailing an estate's heir, the system will silently strip out any situational references to death, grief, or the estate itself that an agent may have drafted. This overlay prevents accidental fair housing violations regarding familial status. It forces the output into a neutral, professional introduction, maintaining professional boundaries during a sensitive time. The senior overlay operates with similar strictness. It removes age-coded language and completely suppresses predatory equity extraction concepts, like reverse mortgages or high-pressure timelines. But stripping text isn't always enough. For severe cases, the system relies on its highest level of systemic protection, the refuse gate. If the AI detects that the core purpose of a draft is predatory, such as pitching a fast cash offer, it bypasses transformation entirely. The system throws a hard error and halts the process with a red out-of-scope warning.
By applying situational overlays, the system acts as an ethical guardian, proactively protecting vulnerable consumers from predatory patterns. There is a common assumption in software development regarding compliance, that an AI engine can fix a terrible email simply by subtracting the illegal words. When a purely subtractive prompt is applied to a user draft that is overwhelmingly dense with marketing hype and RESPA violations, the result is a catastrophic failure. Stripping illegal promises from a dense marketing draft leaves only a useless generic skeleton of text. This reveals the additive principle. Governance preserves compliant substance. It doesn't manufacture it. Clean, substantive input yields a rich, structured output. To achieve a rich, authentic output, the user's template must be authored with a value-driven, educational mindset. The agent must provide a solid foundation for the AI to work with. Enterprise AI systems cannot rely on back-end censorship. They require substantive, human-driven input to function effectively. However, regardless of how well a system prompt is engineered, we still have to account for the mechanical limitations of large language models. LLMs excel at semantic understanding, but they are less reliable at rigid, deterministic gating tasks. Nuance eventually leaks through mechanical limitations. In the iRES environment, this semantic leakage shows up in specific ways. The AI might persistently invent a friendly sign-off that wasn't in the draft, or it might fail to accurately classify and block certain URL domains. This is exactly why Layer 4, the deterministic validator, is a necessary engineering solution. This concise layer of code acts as the final physical gate. It uses strict whitelist matching to catch and strip specific URL classes, like rate quote pages or crime maps, that the LLM missed during semantic processing. A secure generative AI architecture must stack probabilistic semantic processing on top of deterministic code verification to guarantee compliance. Zooming out from real estate, we begin to see the broader architectural potential of this system. Because Layer 1 separates the universal constitution from domain law, its modular design makes the system extensible. It can govern communication in any regulated industry by simply swapping the policy pack cartridge for a new one. This scalability works because the universal core, the rules governing human autonomy, transparency, and safety, remains constant across every industry. Automating this immutable governance in a server-side pipeline successfully reduces corporate liability without flattening the user's authentic voice. The deployment of generative AI in the enterprise requires moving past unrestricted text generation toward a model of strictly governed, multi-layered constitutional communication.